Okay, guys, welcome back. Here we are, day 6 of vertebrae of the day. February 6th, we're moving down the cervical spine. Now we've gotten all the way to the 6th bone in the cervical spine from above and down. It is C6. Now, C6 is a very important area. I've actually pulled up some x-rays to give you a better idea of how we can visualize what can happen to C6 over time when we lose the natural normal curvature in our spine. So one of the more common things that we treat in our office is forward head posture. Now, between living in a society that's very tech dependent, always having stuff where we're looking down between our cell phones or laptops, even when we're reading, right? What we notice is that the head starts to come this way, gravity pulls it down, and then what happens is it adds tension to the back of our neck, right? We feel that shoulder tension. Now, what isn't so obvious that what's housed inside of the spinal column is the spinal cord and the nerves that come out of there. So when we start to bring our head forward, the spinal cord actually stretches with that. And the nerves that come out the side stretch as well. And then what happens is there's like tension in the spinal cord. It's like pulling a rubber band. And when you pull that rubber band, okay, does that get thicker or thinner? Thinner, right? Yeah, and is it getting tighter or looser? It's getting way tighter. So then the communication and energy from the brain going through something that's tighter and thinner, is that getting through as well? There should be a unanimous no. And so when it doesn't, how does that affect the overall function of the organs below that point? Well, if the energy's not getting to the organs aren't going to function as well. So what does that mean for your health when you have forward head posture every second, every minute of every day? It's not as good. Exactly. So what we look at with C6 is when the head comes forward, C6 takes a lot of that pressure. Now there's something housed within each of the bones, and it's our ability to adapt. And what can happen is the bones can actually lay down, kind of like minerals in a cave. They can lay down calcium deposits. And what that does is it can create spurs. Okay, so a normal spine looks like this. It's smooth. The disc spaces are healthy. The joints move really well. They shift from side to side. When you start to develop spurs, like on the back of a cowboy boot, it doesn't move as well. And then these jagged lines form, and then the discs get unhealthy, and they can lead to herniations. And it just doesn't move. It's just stuck. So C6, particularly on these x-rays over here, let me see if I can highlight those real quick. Okay, so this is an example of a patient who has forward head posture. Now, when we look at the normal curvature in the spine, this arc right here, it's supposed to line up really well. So this one on this side is great. Over here, when we zoom in, okay, the line is still there, but the head is actually shifted forward. And then down towards the bottom, here down at C6, which disregard all the numbers, C6 right here on top of C7, now those disc spaces in between are being crunched down. And it's starting to develop, because of that forward head posture over time, it's starting to develop that degeneration of the disc. So now that's a neck that doesn't function as well. It's not moving as well. It's developing those sharp and jagged edges. And we can actually see some of the spurring develop. And I apologize if you can't see this very clearly through the camera. It was tough to get a good view of it. But basically, it starts to grow together so that it can increase the surface area and stability of the spine. So it's definitely something that's not healthy for the body, because then it fuses, and then the neck function turns into limited mobility, turns into pain, and the nerves get irritated and inflamed. And C6 is a massive, massive innervation area for the tonsils. The tonsils are part of our immune system. And our immune system and the ability to clear out the toxins in our body through the lymphatic drainage and to fight off bad cells is vital for our overall health. So when the nerves to the organs that help our immune system function become damaged, then our immune system lowers. And we can't fight off all those invaders as well. So in a spine like this, let me just zoom in for you a little bit. When we look at the normal curvature of the spine over here on this side, and you see that nice arc. And then you look over on this side, and you can see down at C5 and C6, it's actually C6 and C7 down towards the bottom, that there's that disc space and spur developing, and it's starting to grow there. And what happens is over time that damages the nerves that go to the tonsils. So one of our big goals with this is to not only open up that disc space with adjustments and traction and exercises, but also to take the inflammation out of the nerves so that the tonsils can work better, so the immune function works better. That's important. Cancer is the #2 killer in the United States, okay? It's really close behind cardiovascular disease. So cancer is an inability for our body to adapt to killer cells, to cancerous cells. And so we need every little bit of help that we can get to fight off cancerous cells with healthy tonsils, healthy immune system, so that we don't become a statistic. Because statistically speaking, 1 out of every 4 Americans die of cancer. So it's important to have not only your nervous system checked for better immune function, but also to be aware of some of the things that these subluxations can do to us. So C6 is our vertebrae of the day today for February 6th. Tomorrow we're covering the very last vertebra, C7, which has massive implications for thyroid function. If you're curious about thyroid function, or you know somebody who suffers from thyroid conditions, please tune in and have them tune in with us tomorrow on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube. We're going to post a video about what the thyroid implications are, what common health problems are associated with the thyroid gland, and then we're going to talk about what correcting the bone in that position, if it's subluxated, can do to help people overcome those certain health problems. Again, thanks for tuning in, guys. Much appreciated. We're going to go back to live videos next week. But for this weekend, tune in. I'm going to be posting these videos. I'm recording them all today on Friday, and then we're going to post them throughout the weekend. But we'll see you live back next week, and looking forward to getting into the thoracic spine as well. Okay? Have an awesome day. Tune in with us tomorrow.